getting in the pool with him.
Yes,
he could drown here, Vince. He calls $250,000. He is heading for trouble, no doubt about it, unless he gets very lucky here.
Here comes the turn.
Well, a 9 comes off on the turn. Now, this gives Gavin a gut shot straight draw, as well as his pair of 7s, and he checks.
Keto's got to be thinking, how's that really going to help him?
Keto still has the overpair. Just can't imagine you would check 2 kings in this spot, but you always want to be leery of traps being set by your opponents.
You got a massive overpair. You can't be too scared out here.
500.
Ooh, you're betting $500,000.
Very nice bet by Keto Fam right here. Not going to give his opponent a chance to catch a free card to beat him. Going to make him pay. And Gavin down there on the turn anyway.
Another nice pot picked up there by Keto Fam.
Right now, Gavin's saying to himself, geez, why didn't I lay it down on the flop? We still have 4 players left. All have well over $1 million. It's anybody's game from here. And right now, the blinds and antes are going up. We're now playing with a $3,000 ante. Blinds are $15,000 and $30,000.
And of course, the blinds and antes have to go up. Otherwise, players would be waiting for the perfect hands, and we would be playing for months. So that is the reason why.
Well, action's going to be on Chris Bell here.
Chris this time looks down at a king-9 of diamonds. Pretty good starting hand.
And he lays it down. I'm a little surprised at that.
Gavin with queen-3 also laying it down.
Around the Keto Fam in the small blind, he's going to call with 9-5 offsuit.
And Ted Forrest, who so far has played tighter than the middle seat and coach, with a pair of 4s, just says, I'll call.
Yeah, just checks. Does not raise it with 2 4s. Here comes the flop. Ooh, flop is 5-4 deuce with 2 spades. Keto has flopped top pair, but Ted has flopped 3 of a kind.
Just tremendous. Keto checks his top pair. And here goes Ted.
70.
Well, as we said before, the consensus of top players is to bet 3 of a kind when you flop them. Ted Forrest doing that right here. He is going to perhaps trap Keto. Now, Keto has top pair here. Probably thinks the 2 5s are the best hand right now.
Meantime, look at Ted Forrest. Looks a little like a hitman this evening.
Well, your opponent didn't raise before the flop. You're not going to put him on an overpair here. Tough not to play 2 5s here, I think.
Raise it.
And he's not only going to play him, Vince, he's going to raise him.
Oh, boy.
He's headed down a road full of spikes on bad tires.
150.
Raise it 150,000 here.
Ted Forrest loving those words. There's always that outside chance. The guy was in the small blind. You're both messing around with blinds. Maybe flopped a straight or something, but you got a set here. And he's going to make the call, of course.
Well, some people would raise it back with a potential straight and potential flush out there. Ted Forrest opting to call, hoping Keto continues to lead at this pot.
Here comes the turn card.
Ooh, the king of spade comes off.
It's kind of a scare card. Now there's 3 to the flush.
Well, that's a card neither player is probably going to like. But with that spade coming up, you automatically fear your opponent might have 2 spades in the hole and has made a flush.
But it's not going to slow down Corn Dog. It looks like he's getting chips out there.
You're going to represent the flush.
I check.
Nope, he checks.
Yeah. Ted Forrest thinking, what's going on tonight? Is this guy trying to trap me?
Well, Vince, if you've got 3 4s here, you know, it's the kind of hand you can't check either because you can't give your opponent a free draw at a straight or a flush that would beat you. You just can't take a chance on another spade coming out there. Or an ace or a 3 or some kind of straight card coming out there.
300.
And he is going to bet here 300,000.
I'm all in.
But right over the top, Keto says all in.
Without hesitating, he goes all in. And look at Ted Forrest. He says, what have I done? Does this guy really have a flush? Does he have a straight? Did he flop 3 5s? It's going to cost Ted all his chips to call, which is about $1 million. He's got a little over $1 million left. There's about $2.1 million in the pot. So Ted Forrest getting over 2-to-1 odds on his money. But Vince, his tournament life is on the line. If his opponent had a flush and he lost this hand, he would be out of this tournament.
Well, you got a set, though. Even if you think this guy has a flush, for Pete's sake, you got a set. You got a lot of outdraws.
Well,
You know the reputation that Corn Dog has. He could almost raise with anything. This time he practically is. Pair of fives only.
But believe me, if you're sitting there, you assume your opponent's got a flush when he comes over the top, moves all in right now. Do you want to gamble here?
His daughter, Kristen, in the audience. He would love to make her proud. Keto is walking around the table, monkeying around here a little bit, pretending like he's feeling very happy right now. We know he's not.
But Ted, watching every move he's making, will he read Keto correctly here?
Guess it's time to try to get lucky.
Well, Ted says it's time to try to get lucky.
Good call,
Here he
Ted.
goes. Well, he thinks Keto has the flush,
Good call.
apparently. He's going to be joyous to see Keto Fam is drawing completely dead.
Gosh. You got it. You got it.
Hitman Ted Forrest taking down a monster pot.
Nice call, Ted.
It's a hell of a play. I mean,
And with that
how
pot,
much
he
more?
vaults into the lead.
What an exciting event this is. Kicking off the 4th season on the World Poker Tour. We're coming. Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. Watch the Mirage Poker Showdown. I'm Vince Van Patten with Mike Sexton, where 4 players still remain.
But Vince, we just saw Ted Forrest chop down Keto Fam right there. He is now the chip leader. Keto picking the wrong time to make a move.
Keto badly deflated after that. Takes a look at his cards. It's on him right now. He looks down at ace-5.
He only has 190,000 left. Be very surprised if he just doesn't move all in right here. Pick up an ace high in a 4-handed game on a very short stack. You got to go with it, don't you?
I'm all in.
And there he is. He's going all in with it.
Choose my blind all the
And
time.
right behind him, Ted Forrest.
I call.
The hitman with ace-9 of spades quickly calls.
Well, Ted just crippled him. He's going to try to take his feet out from under him now.
ain't going anywhere.
I didn't cripple you.
Around to Chris Bell, and look at this. He's got the Gretzky hand, number
I
99.
pumped you up.
He's got 15,000 in the
How
pot.
much you got there? Wow.
It
This
cost
is
him
100 right here.
187,000 in total to call here.
And this much. This is 100.
Very interesting. Could be a three-way battle. Keto all in here. Chris Bell with a pair of 9s in a 4-handed game. A strong hand starter.
He was all in for 187,000. Ted Dog on Chris.
187.
He is making the call here. I don't blame him for calling with the 2 9s, though, Vince. I'd want to see a flop, too.
You're
See if
right.
we can all
Nothing
play.
fancy. Not going to bump it.
Gavin's going to look down at Jack 6 of hearts here. Gavin gets out of the way. Even though Keto's all in here, Chris and Ted could continue betting on the side if they so desire.
Keto fam, not a good place. Ace-5 versus ace-9 and a pair of 9s.
Here comes the flop. Flop is King 8-4 with 2 spades. Chris checks the 2 9s.
Well, that's interesting. Gives Ted Forrest a 4 flush.
Ted is reaching for chips. Now, he has a drawing hand, Vince, but I'm not crazy about this play. He's betting into what we call a dry side pot. Normally in this spot, you don't want to knock out the third party unless you've got a made hand.
And look at this. Chris turning up his cards.
Well, Chris understands that he can't make this bet unless he has a hand, so to speak.
Got Pat.
2 red 9s and throws it away. We're down to 2 close.
Oh,
You saw Chris Bell wince there. He's surprised that Ted would bet there
5-5.
without a king in his hand.
that's a dagger in his back.
Poor Keto can't even catch the 5 of spade now to win this pot. He's got to catch one of 2 other 5s or 2 running low cards to make a straight.
What the hell? You want to race for all you
The
want?
hitman standing up. Ted Forrest likes his position, and why shouldn't he? Keto fam on the ropes here, on the respirator. He needs some luck right now to turn this around. Here comes the turn.
Oh, a 9 comes off. Chris Bell, don't come back and take a look at this card.
Remove all sharp objects, Chris. He would have hit a set right there.
Drawing dead.
Not that. 5. Oh, 9.
There's the river. It's a 4. It's not going to do it for Keto.
Go ahead, Pat.
He is out in 4th place.
Ted Forrest is going to win this pot, making what I thought was a bad bet on the flop. Is going to work out great for Ted Forrest right there.
But right now, Keto fam, Corn Dog has been eaten alive. He is our 4th place finisher. We are down to 3. But Mike, you're right. Ted Forrest betting in the dry pot. Why don't you explain to the audience exactly what that was?
Well, a dry pot is a side pot that doesn't have any money in it.
let's play
You're
some more
better
pots.
off to keep Chris Bell alive in this situation in terms of tournament strategy, because if one of you eliminate Keto Fam on this hand, you move up over $100,000 in real money. In my view, it was a tactical tournament error on Ted Forrest's part. Ted didn't see the forest for the trees right there.
Keto, you've been playing very aggressively. Do you think this caused the other guys to gang up on you?
I see that. I'm not happy with the way I'm playing today, but I'm playing to win, and I will live and die with the way I play.
What do you think went wrong down there?
I played too many hands. I should have more patience, and that's it. I don't have patience today.
Ted Forrest now extending his lead. He's the man right now, and we're down to 3.
Ted is a Las Vegas professional player. He's one of the best in the business, and it's always fun to watch Ted play poker.
I sold swimming pools for a summer, and I worked as a hotel maid for a summer. I was kind of just lucky to fall into poker, you know, something that I was good at and really enjoy doing.
Since you called it, I have to show it. Yeah, I want to call it.
I enjoy the mental combat of it, you know, just kind of getting into people's heads.
Ted Forrest is one of the best players in the world. You know, he's made the final table before. He knows what to expect.
Cash card, let's see what it is.
Yes, Ted Forrest has dodged all those bullets.
Ted Forrest is an exceptional player. He's pretty much impossible to put on the hand, doesn't give up too much information. You know, he's probably the best of the bunch at the table.
I always try to change my game as far as adapting to the new players, and you do see a lot of new faces these days, so it gives you something more to think about.
Folks, it is not easy. Nobody said it was, and nobody knows it better than these 3 guys sitting down here tonight.
Back to the table on Chris Bell. Looks down at an 8-3 of hearts. Chucks it away. Gavin Smith. Oh, he's got a nice starting hand. King, queen of clubs, but he's going to play it slow. Just calls it.
He's trying to camouflage the strength of his hand here. He just limps in with the king, queen of clubs, and Ted with the 8-7 of spades says, give us a flop.
Oh, man. Gavin Smith hitting 3 of a kind on that flop.
Incredibly, he leads out and bets $50,000. One more time you see these pros leading out when they flop 3 of a kind. They're not checking.
Getting Ted to bite here with absolutely nothing.
He feels if Gavin had an ace or a king, he would have raised before the flop.
He's been trapped. Here comes the turn card. When he gets a piece of it.
An 8 comes off. Now Ted has made a pair of 8s here.
Potential train wreck for Ted Forrest. He's got kings and 8s, and we know Gavin, of course, has the 3 of a kind. Gavin not slowing down.
Well, Gavin's figuring, hey, the guy called me on the flop. Maybe he'll call me again on the turn. Gavin betting $120,000 this time. Ted called on the flop with intentions to bluff this pot later on. Now he's made a hand here, so he's just going to call.
He is deep in the spider hole right now.
Drawing dead, as we say. No card he can catch to win the pot with.
Here comes the river.
Well, a 7 comes off.
500.
Gavin's betting $500,000 now. And you see the anguish on Ted's face. He says, whoa, have I misread this? Did this guy really have an ace or a king? If he flopped 3 kings, would he really lead out and bet on the flop? Wouldn't he check to me and let me bluff at it? Could take a big hit right here, Vince, if he's going to continue to go with his instincts in this hand.
Nice bluff.
And there he goes.
Well, Ted makes the great laydown right there. Finally convinced that Gavin had him beat. And just a great decision to get away from that hand and not put another $500,000 in there.
But just a tremendous credit there for Gavin Smith. Just so well played. You know, it was so obvious. It was tricky.
There's more action to come from the Mirage. Stay tuned.
3 players, and the winner's going to get $1,128,000. Not bad.
Yep, we started with 317 players. We are down to 3. All professional players left. Vince, we're getting some good insight tonight of the thought process of professionals when they're playing poker. You know, most people on the amateur level just look at their 2 down cards and that's all they worry about. Level 2 is when you start thinking about what your opponent's cards are. Level 3, you start thinking about what you think they think that your cards are.
Oh, just shut up. Okay, let's get back to the table. Ted Forrest quickly folding. Chris Bell with Queen Jack. Just going to make a call. And Gavin now with Jack 3.
He says, give us a flop. Well, flop is King 10-7 with 2 spades.
Gives an open-ended straight draw there for Chris Bell.
He's got the King, Queen, Jack 10, and he bets it. Bets $60,000.
Gets a quick call by Gavin. It's 60,000.
Well, for the second hand in a row, we've seen a guy call with no hand and no draw. Obviously with the intent to take the pot away later. An 8 comes off.
Chris checks. But surprise, surprise, Gavin Smith getting some chips ready.
And this is why he called on the flop, to make a bet on the turn to try to take the pot away from his man.
Oh, poppycock time.
He bets 165,000.
Just very interesting poker.
I love this play. When you call a flop with no hand and no draw with the intention of stealing the pot later on, that is playing some poker.
Well, don't forget, too, Gavin is saying if this guy had a king, he would have raised before the flop. He did not. Therefore, Gavin's saying he doesn't have a king. He is bluffing. I'm going to try to take it away from him. He's going to get a call down.
Yep, he's called 165,000 here.
Solid call. He would love to hit a card on the river.
Well, he's looking for a 9 or an ace for sure.
Didn't get it. It's a 10 of diamonds.
No help to either player. Action is on Chris. Chris has the best hand with queen high here, but how would you know it?
You wouldn't think so.
450.
Oh, look at this. He's going to bet 450,000.
This is amazing. Vince, he has just taken the play away from Gavin.
Hey, you don't catch, but you bet anyhow. Just brilliant.
Well, now the only way Gavin can win this pot is to re-raise. He's got to come over the top for about all his chips, in fact. Has been put in a barrel here, Vince.
Oh, boy. That is an insult to injury right there for Gavin Smith. Gavin lays it down. Just a brilliant play.
Chris Bell just continuing to change gears. Check raising, leading out, playing extremely well here at this final table.
I found myself some Chris fans. Michael and Chip, professional poker players. You guys have been in his spot. What advice could you give Chris?
I can't give him any advice. He's playing great out there. It seems he's got a great read on the table.
Well, what's it like to be out there under all the lights?
It's a lot of pressure, but he seems to be really shining right now. He's doing everything right, so just keep it up, I guess.
Getting back down to the table. Action's going to be on the hitman, Ted Forrest. This time he looks down at a big hand, ace-jack of clubs.
Ted is a consummate pro.
140.
Far more experienced than these other two guys at the table.
Raises $90,000.
Makes it $140,000 to go.
Chris Bell staring down at a 7-6, a little suited connector.
Well, it's the kind of hand you like to see a flop with. If you hit this hand, maybe you can take a guy's chips from him.
He's now our chip leader with close to $2.6 million. And he's going to call it.
Yep, he's making the call, hoping to get lucky and hit a flop.
Gavin Smith with king 5. No, he's going to throw it away. So two-way action, Ted Forrest and Chris Bell.
Ted with the ace-jack of clubs. Chris Bell with the 7-6 of diamonds. Here comes the flop. Well, it's come jack 8-7.
Oh, boy. Big hand there for Ted Forrest. Top pair with the ace kicker.
Chris's flop bottom pair.
Chris quickly checks.
Ted has top pair and top kicker, as we say, and bets 170. And without hesitation, Chris Bell calls him.
He doesn't buy it. Ted hitting his top pair on the flop, and he's getting action.
So Chris Bell, not even thinking for a moment, just quickly calls with the 2 7s.
Okay, here comes the turn card. It's a deuce of spades. Helps neither player.
Well, again, Chris checks. Well, nearly 700,000 in the pot right now.
250.
Now Ted bets 250,000. This is not a very big bet into a pot that has nearly 700,000 in it.
Well, he loves his hand. He feels he's in great shape. We know because of the WPT cam, he is indeed.
You're right. He wants to get some value out of this hand. He wants his man to continue calling.
700,000.
Oh, without hesitation, Chris Bell raising here, Vince.
Oh, I cannot believe it.
He's making it 700,000 to go. He's re-raised 450,000.
Well, the interesting thing, he doesn't believe Ted. Ted raised before the flop. He doesn't think he hit a jack. He thinks he could possibly take this pot away right now.
Well, he's sure trying to do it.
We know Ted is actually pretty strong here. How do you can't get away from this, you would figure.
Well, you certainly thought you had the best hand, but now you start thinking, whoa, did this guy flop a straight? Did he flop 3 of a kind?
Is he 4 flushing with a pair? We know he only has a little pair, a piece of it, pair of 7s. He believes he's actually out in front. He thinks Ted raised before the flop, didn't hit, thinks he can get him out of this pot right now. So that's the brilliance of the raise.
There is no way Ted's going to put him on 2 7s here. Because of the WPT hole cam by Budweiser, we can see that Ted is far in front here, but when you're sitting at that table, you're going for $1 million, and the man's check raised you about $500,000. Let me tell you, one pair doesn't look so attractive anymore.
Oh, boy, but look at this. He's going to make a call. Just a terrific call right there.
Yes, it is. What a call by Ted Forrest here. And Chris Bell did not like it, I can tell you that.
This is a massive pot right now.
Over $2 million in the pot.
River card coming up. Here it is.
Oh, it's a 7.
Oh.
Chris Bell has made 3 sevens. He hit the slot machine here. He now has the best hand. Wow.
Absolute disaster here.
This is unbelievable.
You make the right move, he's going to get punished.
And if Ted called on the turn, how's he going to fold a bet now here on the river?
And look at Chris doing every type of Marlon Brando take he could possibly think of. Just going to milk this like a Holstein. And here it comes.
Let's notice what happened here, though. You know, when he raised a minute ago, it was instantly in with nothing.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, he's made a big hand, and now he's taking his time on making a bet.
It's so true. It's so true. We get to see this performance live here. There's subtleties, but I tell you, it's what's at stake is so big. You got to do this. You got to be this good of an actor.
Well, he's looking back at his 2 cards to make sure he has that 3rd 7. He can't believe he hit 3 sevens.
Lips trembling, talking to himself, mumbling, little mumbles. Remember this, folks.
I'm all in.
And now he says, I'm all in.
Oh, there it is.
Well, he's gone all in. He took all that time, and then he moved all in, and now he's gotten up and walked away from the table, and Ted just eyeing him like a fox.
Oh, it's just a complete debacle for Ted Forrest. Poor guy makes a brilliant move, playing this hand so well.
Well, let me tell you, you call him on the turn because you think you have the best hand, and now all of a sudden the guy's moved in on the river. I mean, Ted is never going to put him on a pair of 7s here when he made that $500,000 raise. Tell you something, Ted Forrest has had some of the toughest decisions to make here in the last few pots. I mean, really, really tough decisions. And he's looking up to the sky for help here, Vince.
I used to chip jet there. I just went all in, and now I ain't got no pressure on me.
I'm telling you, in the high-stakes poker games and in any poker game, Ted Forrest can read his opponents as well as anybody. And now he's listening to Chris over there. And if you just move all in, you don't have to worry about anything. You just move in.
Yeah, if he calls, it's over there for Ted Forrest. Let's not forget that. He's making a great laydown.
Wow. What a laydown by Ted Forrest. We saw him make a great laydown a moment ago against Gavin Smith. Now he's done it against Chris Bell. That is just incredible to me, Vance, that this guy can make that laydown in this situation.
At every step of this hand, he did the right thing. Absolutely perfectly played. Outcome not happening his way, but just brilliant defensive play right there by Ted Forrest. We're coming back with more incredible action from the Mirage here.
Well, Vince, not tonight, I can tell you that. Stories about this poker game are going to be heard around the world. We are seeing some incredible poker here tonight at the Mirage Poker Showdown.
Well, we started with 317 players, and these 3 guys, I tell you something, these are gambling guys. You're going to be seeing these guys for years to come, believe me, on the World Poker Tour. Action back on Chris Bell this time. Looks down at King 7 offsuit.
He lays down king high on the button.
Now Gavin Smith with a 10-8 of diamonds.
Well, he's going to call, wants to see a flop with that hand.
But the hitman, Ted Forrest, with ace-7 of hearts, a nice starting hand. Let's see if he punches this up a little bit.
Yep, he's going to raise it here.
Yes, he does.
Because you're going to pay a little more. You want to see a cheap flop.
He's on the short stack right now with about $1 million. He could use this pot.
Well, he's made it $180,000 to go. Raised it $130,000, and Gavin's going to make the call. He wants to see a flop. So Gavin Smith with the 10-8 of diamonds, Ted Forrest with the ace-7 of hearts, $375,000 in the pot. Here comes the flop. Well, it's queen 8-5. Gavin has made 2 8s on the flop.
All in.
And he's going all in, Vance.
Man, just a strong bet. Ted has to fold it.
Yeah. Gavin just saying to him, if you can beat these 8s, my friend, good luck to you. Took the play away from Ted there and picks up the pot.
Right now, you could boil a pot of coffee on Ted Forrest's head. He is steaming.
Well, you're right, Vince. You see he's taking his jacket off, so you know he's feeling a little warm here right now. Gavin Smith taking that pot down, and right now, Chris Bell in good shape, our chip leader, with about 3.6 million in chips. Gavin now has about 1.9 million. And Vince, Ted Forrest with only 900,000. He's got to feel like he's in the funnel of a tornado getting banged around here right now.
Action's going to go back down on Chris Bell. He's going to look down at ace-9 this time with the button in front.
And he bets 200,000.
Yes, he does. Into our man, Gavin Smith. Oh, but Gavin also a big hand, ace-jack.
Yep. Dominating Chris right now, and he's reaching for more chips, Vince. He's going to come over the top,
yes,
he makes it 600,000 to go.
Oh, Ted Forrest just wincing there because he's got ace-8.
Well, it's the kind of hand you might play against one player, but when it's been raised and re-raised, can't imagine Ted playing this. And no, he lays it down. Nice lay down.
So now Chris Bell, the chip leader, making the raise with the button in a nice position with ace-9. Gets raised. Now what do you do?
That's going to cost him 400,000 more to call this. He is dominated right now, as we say.
He's pretty much moving all in no matter what the flop is, huh?
What's that, brother?
You're pretty much moving all in no matter what the flop is, huh?
Well, listen to that.
I can't guarantee that.
Well, Chris said, you know, I know if I call this raise, you're going to move all in on the flop. It doesn't matter what comes out there.
Gavin says, I can't guarantee that. I like that remark.
Ace-9. Could be a trap hand for Chris here if he gets involved with this pot.
Look at these guys looking at each other.
Well, he's the chip leader. He can afford to make it, but you're not crazy about calling a $400,000 re-raise with ace-9, but Chris Bell is doing it. So now we have over $1.2 million in the pot. Gavin Smith in great shape. He's got ace-jack. Chris Bell with the ace-9.
Well, this is a great opportunity for Gavin Smith.
Here comes the flop. Oh, what a flop for Chris. It's come 9-7-5.
And Gavin quickly says, I'm going all in.
Chris was right about it. He said Gavin's going to go all in on the flop. That's exactly what happened. And Chris has called him, and he is going to love it right now, Vince.
He got me.
He's right about that. Look at him. Takes his hat off in disgust that he was out flopped.
Just a tremendous flop there for Chris Bell. But I'll tell you something, Ted Forrest jumping up and down because he's saying, listen, if Gavin goes away here, I can move up to second place prize money. Here's the turn card. It's a 7.
Well, we're down to the river card. Gavin Smith looking up saying, I can't believe it.
Deuce.
Can I ever catch a jack? Please give it to me now.
Red deuce.
He did it! He has done it! Wow! Wow! Is that unbelievable or what? Gavin Smith spiked a jack on the river to win this pot.
Just enjoying that suck out right there.
Folks, I'll tell you one thing. Gavin Smith ever wants to high-five it, get out of the way.
What a card.
Well, in fairness to Gavin, he had the best hand when he raised before the flop. He got out flopped, but boy, did he get lucky on the river to spike a jack.
And Gavin was looking so disgusted. I mean, he was disillusioned. He thought it was truly over. You never think you're going to hit that kind of card in this kind of moment on TV, on the World Poker Tour, and he did it. 3 players still remain. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more on the World Poker Tour.
Outer on the river, Vince. Those kind of things will put you in the padded cell. Chris, a 4-year pro, former business major from NC State. He's got to feel like a guy from North Carolina just made a half-court shot at the buzzer to beat him.
This game is playing fast, but they're going to play even faster because the antes and blinds are going up once again. Antes $10,000, but the blind's going to be $40,000 and $80,000.
Well, Ted Forrest continuing in the downward spiral.
Oh, very dejected on the short stack with a $500,000. Action on Gavin Smith. This time he picks up number 99.
300.
Comes in for 300,000.
Nice raise into Ted Forrest. Ted's got a decent hand. Ace-7.
You know, Ted knows the blinds and antes have gone up. Cost him 150,000 every 3 pots to play. He's only got about a $500,000 left. Is he going to make a stand here?
I'm all in.
He's gone all in.
He's doing it.
And look at this. Chris Bell getting up because he's got big slick. Ace-King.
He saw Gavin raise it and Ted go all in, and now he's picked up big slick.
What a knife fight going on in this hand.
Man, this is a huge hand. He knows Ted might be a little desperate. He saw Gavin raise on the button.
Yeah, 3-handed. Get big slick. That is a very strong starting hand.
About $500,000 to call here. He's got a couple million in chips.
I'm all in.
He's gone over the top of both of them. He's gone all in.
And Gavin Smith, the guy with the best hand at this point, he's got a decision now.
Now Gavin could make the call because he's got about 3.7 million, but
Or know how much that is.
well, Gavin wants to know how much it is. It's a little over 2 million, Gavin.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Even if he
5,
played
6,
this pot
7,
and lost to Chris Bell,
That's $1 million,
he'd
guys.
still have 1.5 million chips left. But Vince, if he plays and wins this pot,
6.
you can put the crown on his head right now and that 1.1 million in the bank because he will be our champion. He raised it. Ted went all in, and now this guy's come over the top of him. Tough decision here as to what to do with 2 nines.
Well, he might be even thinking
He's up in the
his
2 million
nines
range now, is that what you're saying?
might be a coin flip. We know it would virtually be ace-king versus the pair of nines. So what do you do?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Well, he shows the 2 nines and gets out of the way,
Yes, he
Vance.
does. Interesting laydown.
Well, both players are going to be happy to see him go.
But Ted Forrest in a bad place right now.
Yep, right now Chris Bell has him dominated. It's ace-king for Chris, ace-7 for Ted Forrest.
Ted Forrest, one leg in the coffin there. Needs to get lucky here, otherwise he will be gone. He would be the third-place finisher. 5 cards remaining. Here we go with the first 3.
Oh, a 7 comes right out for Ted.
That was beautiful for Ted Forrest.
Some Queen Jack 7. He has outflopped Chris Bell. And Chris has got to be thinking, what is going on here?
Well, Ted deserves a break every now and then. He gets it right there.
Well, it's not over. Chris can catch a king or a 10 to win this pot. An ace wouldn't help him because that would make Ted aces up. So right now he's looking for a king or a 10.
Here's the 4 on the turn. That's good for Ted Forrest.
It's good, and it's defense. And right now, all he's got to do is dodge a king or a 10. If he does so, he's going to more than double up because remember, Gavin put 300,000 in the pot before he got out. And Ted nodding, he said, you know, I deserve a break here. I haven't had one yet.
Chris Bell squirming. Here comes our river.
That's a queen.
It's going to hold it.
Well, look at Ted Forrest. We finally see some emotion out of this guy. He says, I've finally outdrawn somebody. Let me get back in the hunt here. Chris Bell in a daze over there, as you can see.
And the hitman hits his card there, Mike. And a big smile for Ted Forrest. Stays alive.
Well, another bad beat after the money goes in the pot for Chris Bell. He took one a while back from Gavin Smith, and now he takes one from Ted Forrest.
Well, we are watching so much emotion here at the final table.
Well, Vince, we're seeing some emotion out of Gavin also. This tournament would have been over had he called with the 2 nines.
True.
The trophy would have been on his mantle and that $1 million in the bank.
No, we don't play woulda, coulda, shoulda poker here on the World Poker Tour. We're all gambling. This is fun.
As it is, all 3 players have chips, and the game continues, Vince. What excitement we're seeing for the season opener on the World Poker Tour.
Chris Bell on the short stack with about 1.4. Gavin Smith is the leader with about 3 million. Ted Forrest with a big comeback with about 1.8. Action on Chris Bell. This time he picks up the octopus as a pair of 8s.
He's getting out some raisin chips here, and he's going to make it, looks like 240,000.
Yes, he does, but right behind him, Gavin Smith with a big hand, ace, queen.
I'm on.
And he's going to go all in with it.
Yep, he's come over the top for all his chips. Ted gets out of their way, and Chris quickly calls with the 2 8s.
Oh, yes, he does.
So we're going to have a classic poker showdown here. It's the pair versus the 2 overcards. That's the last time they tangled in a monster pot. Gavin got very lucky, spiked that jack on the river to win that pot.
Why'd you take his 40 already?
This time we're in a race situation. If Chris Bell loses this pot, he's going to be out in 3rd place. If he wins it, he'll be the dominating chip leader.
What a turnaround for Chris Bell. So close to taking the title before. Can his 8s hold up right now? Here we go with the first 3.
Oh, an ace right in the door. Gavin shoots his arm straight up in the air. It's come ace, king, 7. Heartbreak for Chris Bell right there.
Just an awful flop for Chris.
Well, Vince, everything's seemingly going wrong here. And now Chris Bell has got to catch a snowman or he's going to melt down and right out of here. He must catch an 8 if he wants to stay alive.
Not on the turn. It's a 10 of clubs.
So we are down to the river. And now it's Chris Bell that has to catch the river card to stay alive. Gavin did it against him. Can he do it against Gavin? He must catch an 8.
Bring out the smelling salts. Here's the card.
Well, it's a 9.
Well, the bell has finally been cracked. Chris Bell, our third-place finisher.
Gavin embraces Chris. He's fully aware of the bad luck Chris had down the stretch here. So is Ted Forrest. All three good sports.
Total pain at the Mirage. Chris Bell knocked out our third-place finisher.
Vance, he took some unlucky breaks at this final table. Gavin had to catch a jack on the river, otherwise he had a 6-1 chip lead playing heads up against Ted. He played a great tournament, Vance. Courtney's with him now. Yeah. Let's see what he's got to say. Courtney?
Thanks, guys. Chris, how does it feel to be in the position you're in right now?
Not very good. I mean, I'm just really disappointed. Had a couple shots to get a lot of chips, and just a couple cards didn't fall my way, so.
We got to drag the white sheet over him, but right now, we're down to heads-up poker shootout.
When we get heads up, we have a money presentation. So, ladies, show us the money.
Well, it's a new season, but the custom continues, and out come the Mirage girls with the cash, and plenty of it, Vince.
Courtney Friel bringing in the trophy, and the beautiful Mirage girls throwing out the big-time cash.
Well, this is what makes the World Poker Tour special. They bring the cash right on the table, and plenty of it, Vince.
One of these guys about to become a millionaire on the World Poker Tour. Who's it going to be?
Capturing that coveted WPT title is what every pro and amateur poker player alike want. One of these two guys is going to do it here tonight.
Gavin Smith with about 4.6 million and Ted Forrest with about 1.8. Both very fast gambling type players.
So here we go. Who's going to capture the first title on the World Poker Tour in Season 4?
Good luck.
Let's find out.
What's your chip count, Gavin?
4.5.
595.
I've got 300,000 more than I started the day with.
Ted Forrest will be the first to act here.
All right, Ted looks down.
I wish he didn't.
Well, look at this. He's got a big hand, a wired pair of jacks.
He loves this.
And do you try to trap? Or do you push this a little bit?
200.
Well, Ted's going to come in for 200,000.
But Gavin slipping out of the way. He just has 4-9.
Doesn't want to get involved with that hand. Even though Ted picked up that pot, you're hoping to get a little action when you've got two jacks.
Absolutely. So the duel from the felt continues. A little missed opportunity there for Ted.
Opportunity knocking on the door for both of these guys. Both of these guys feeling it right now.
I got to be honest with you, Ted. I was kind of hoping you were going to go out 5th to 6th.
I was kind of hoping it was going to be me and you.
Action's going to be on Gavin. He looks down at a pair of queens, and Vince, he just limps in.
He's going to try to trap.
Well, he's trying to camouflage the strength of his hand here.
Right behind him, Ted Forrest has a big hand as well. Ace-jack of clubs.
Well, that's a huge hand in heads-up play. Ted's got a sense that it's the best hand right now, and he's going to raise it. 150,000.
Oh, he's been trapped, and over the top he goes all in.
Gavin has gone all in here. And one more time, Ted Forrest faced with an extremely difficult decision. Can you really get away from this hand in a heads-up situation?
You would not think so.
Oh, Vance, he knows Gavin limped in on the button and then moved all in over the top of him. You can feel he senses a trap, but can you really lay down the ace-jack of clubs playing heads-up poker?
You know what? I called 550,000 with this hand one time. I'm going to break my record. I call.
Oh, he's made the call.
Well, he's doing it. Gavin shoots his arms up with the 2 queens. He knows it's the best hand right now, or Ted would have beat him in the pot a lot faster than that, but...
Just a gigantic hand for Gavin Smith, but it's not over yet. 5 cards to come.
Not by any means.
I feel lucky.
Ted with the ace-jack of clubs. Gavin with the 2 queens. If Gavin Smith wins this pot, he will be our champion.
Well, there's a $500,000 difference between first and second place here, all on the line. If the 2 skirts hold up, it'll be all about Gavin Smith for this title.
Flop comes king 10-9. Now Ted Forrest is pulling for Gavin to make 3 queens here because that would give him a straight.
For sure, the turn card's the club.
Ted says, well, the turn card will be a club, so we'll have a lot of drama here going to the river.
Take the ace of hearts.
Ted needs an ace or a queen right now.
Let's see the turn card.
There's 4th Street. It's a 5 of diamonds. Not good for Ted.
So we are down to the river. Gavin is a river card away from becoming a World Poker Tour champion. If he can dodge an ace or a queen, 5 outs, as we say, he will be our champion.
Oh, my.
Anything but an ace or queen, this match is over. Otherwise, Ted will double up with an ace or with a queen. Let's see the river card.
One time.
He's done it. Gavin Smith is the champion of the Mirage Poker Showdown.
And he gets mobbed by his friends in the audience. Ted Forrest also going to the crowd. Great sport. It's going to pick up close to $600,000. What a final this has been. What a tournament.
And Ted Forrest can hold his head high. He played sensational poker at this final table. Just didn't have the cards to pull it out.
And it was a complete battle of wits. 6 great players started the final table. We saw everything here tonight.
Vince, I'll tell you one thing. If all the rest of the events are anything like this, we're in for a great year.
I knew you could do it. I knew you could not.
And now here he is, the champion of the Mirage Poker Showdown, Gavin Smith. Gavin, what a battle this was at the final table. Tell us how you're feeling right now.
Pretty good. Oh, it's a dream come true. I'm glad to finally have got to a table and to be fortunate enough to win it. I got my money in bad 4 times and was fortunate enough to win all 4 of them. So, you know, things couldn't be better.
Well, Gavin, congratulations. What a tournament you had here tonight. And now, as a custom on the World Poker Tour, we're going to toast our champion with Michelob Amber Bock, the official beer of the World Poker Tour. Here's to the champion of the Mirage Poker Showdown, Gavin Smith. Gavin,